Bill Tompkins claimed that he was in the control room and Neil Armstrong met moon reptilians. So, what really happened on the moon? Just 2 years before his passing, William M. Tompkins had written Selected by Extraterrestrials. It included sudden chaos and in the UFO community with his incredible testimony about the U.S. Navy's secret development of space battle groups with the assistance of major aerospace companies, beginning with Douglas Aircraft, and he can be considered one of the most credible whistleblowers to step forward and disclose the secret space programs, ET agendas, and hidden governments. He claimed to be part of an operation involving U.S. Navy spies who stole UFO plans and anti-gravity technology secrets from Nazis during World War II. In July 2017, at a press conference, Tompkins made an unprecedented statement. He worked for the Douglas Aircraft Company alongside extraterrestrials, Nordic alien women, and it had been 47 years before NASA appeared. He claimed about it in his book, mentioned above, and it was published in 2015. Additionally, he revealed that the Nazis had already operational UFOs during the war because of the information that the U.S. spies were able to obtain. The U.S. later developed its fleet of UFOs, which then got siphoned off into the back military sphere under the control of Majestic 12, the ultra-secretive group that controlled and managed the UFO alien issue in the 1940s, he claims. And during the time of the World War, there were secret societies such as the Thule Society and the Vril Society. Famous British historian Nicholas Goodrich Clark wrote a whole chapter about Maria Orsic in his book Black Sun, published in 2001, where he connected her with the Vril Society. The author mentioned that Orsic could communicate with alien civilizations, and one of them was from the planet Aldebaran, which was located in the Taurus system. According to Tompkins, the Nazis were in contact with extraterrestrial reptilians at the same time as Orsic was doing her channeling. Hitler found out about Orsic, her abilities, and the fact she was receiving information about detailed how to construct UFOs. And according to Tompkins, Hitler allowed Orsic and the Nordics with whom she was working to continue to work on their UFO program because the Nazis were already in contact with the reptilians and because Hitler knew he could always take over Orsic's project at any time. Robert Wood, who was interviewed alongside William Tompkins by Search for Truth Reality, claimed that the Nazis' technology rapidly advanced due to their relationship with these reptilians so that they got to the far side of the moon before the end of World War II. Dr. Wood worked in research and development management in Douglas Aircraft and McDonnell Douglas from 1956 to 1993. Later, he became a board member of MUFON. He was given $500,000 to disseminate UFO documents and $250,000 to make a UFO documentary. Later, Robert and his son Ryan scanned hundreds of MJ-12 documents and made them available on their website, Majestic Documents. According to William Tompkins, he was recruited at a young age by the Navy due to his precocious ability to build highly accurate model ships. After working at North American Aviation in Northrop, he was hired by Douglas Aircraft Company in 1950. In interviews such as with Project Camelot and in his book Selected by Extraterrestrials, Tompkins revealed much of his story. He explained that MJ-12 began in 1942 when, with the senior Douglas, the man who started the company. Tompkins started that right after the Battle of LA in 1942 to handle the implications of UFOs openly showing themselves in the skies. Douglas pulled some key men into the group or think tank that later became MJ-12. Dr. Wood stated that MJ-12 is mostly associated with the Air Force, not other branches of the U.S. military. He explains that the U.S. Navy started back engineering Nazi UFO crafts in 1942 before MJ-12 came into existence. It took the Navy around a decade to produce functional UFO craft, but they did so eventually. Tompkins stated that when the first astronauts went to the moon, they were shocked to discover it had already been occupied by Draco reptilians. He said that these reptilians, over 9 feet tall, were standing next to their advanced craft. Bill Tompkins said they were parked around the side of the crater. Okay, they were not parked on it, they were floating above it, so there were hundreds of these 9-foot reptilian guys standing with their legs. Yeah, they were all the way across underneath their vehicle standing on the crater. And the interviewer asked, and what do you think they look like? Tompkins said they're ugly-looking lizards, alligator-type people. They got the same skin as the lizards got, okay, and terrible-looking faces, but then they have the ability to shift and look like a human. All of them do, okay? That's what he said. The interviewer asked, do you think that Von Braun was a reptilian? Bill Tompkins said, no, your president was, yes. Interviewer, oh, which one? Tompkins said, George Bush Sr. and Bill Clinton and this guy that you just got, and they all were. Okay, they all have the ability to make themselves look like real good-looking people, he said. Interviewer, and you're saying Trump is not one? Tompkins said, no, he's not. That's a relief. He knows more about the subject than people realize. But trying to get back to your earlier question, these groups of extraterrestrials who work together but are at war with other extraterrestrials, okay, they have these vehicles that look like a planet, like our moon is a vehicle. It's a command center for this arm. The easiest way to look at this is to put your arm out like this, and you would be the center of the galaxy. According to both Tompkins and Dr. Wood, the Reptilians had already made a deal with the Nazis, and amazingly, Tompkins himself claimed that he saw ancient structures on the far side of the moon, and that he saw a floating building 1.5 miles above the lunar surface. According to Tompkins, many ET species are interacting with humanity currently, including Draco reptilians and Nordics, which have a great influence on the world. In his Project Camelot interview, Tompkins prevented himself from disclosing more information about reptilians, as it was harmful to his credibility. Tompkins also described the U.S. military's concerns about UFOs and alien beings, and the military's rush to create advanced space-based weapons, which could be used to defend the planet Earth against an ET threat to our civilization. He reveals U.S. Navy has battle groups operating outside the Earth. He designed 5 spaceships and 30 support ships. Using the latest technology, he designed different spaceships for Northrop Aviation Company. Northrop started building the huge craft underground in Utah, he claims. Tompkins claims we are now building even better battle groups. The Apollo moon landings were also designed to build a base on the moon. We have had bases on the moon along with bases on Mars and Jupiter's moons, he claims. And a month after the shocking conference, Tompkins passed away unexpectedly on August 21st, 2017, in San Diego, California. But of course, he was a very advanced age. He had the age of 94. God rest his soul. And this is on Collective Spark by Vicky Vermahausen-Wise. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.